Hello everyone, Jedi Guy Gaming here for a quick, somewhat of a video, changing things up a bit. I'm giving a first impressions slash semi-review for Call of Duty Black Ops 6. First off, I want to start off by saying that this is a game I honestly wasn't really expecting to play this year, and if it wasn't for the fact that it was part of Game Pass, I actually wouldn't be playing it. I have a very hit and miss relationship when it comes to Call of Duty. I either love the game, or I hate it. There isn't really an in-between. But anyway, starting off, gonna cover some various topics in this. Gonna cover balancing, maps, weapons, overall feel of movement, some score streak stuff, and so on and so forth. Might touch upon the campaign, which I honestly haven't really played much of. Maybe about half of it, I think. A few missions here and there. Haven't touched zombies, but I'm gonna give my general consensus on it based on what I've been hearing from some friends who are like hardcore zombie fans, and like I trust their input when it comes to this stuff. But anyway, here we go. Starting off, the maps. I'll be honest, the maps for Black Ops 6 are very, very hit and miss. There's a few that are honestly pretty decent, that I do enjoy playing. Skyline, pretty fun. Babylon is a hit or a miss depending on the game mode. If you're doing I want to assume like team deathmatch, kill confirmed, free-for-all, stuff like that, I imagine it's probably a pretty fun map. Could be pretty chaotic as well. I haven't tried it out yet on TDM, kill confirmed, or anything else like that. However, when it comes to any sort of objective-based game mode, such as domination, hardpoint, and I imagine search and destroy, the map is an absolute dumpster fire. And here's why. So, let's start with domination. Basic layout. You have the A flag on one corner of the map, the C flag on the opposite corner of the map, and then right in the middle, you have the B flag. Standard layout for a domination map. The issue being, right in the middle of Babylon is this like central four-way column sort of altar ruins segment, whatever. That is an absolute fucking meat grinder. It is bad. There is no way to try and capture that, and not expose yourself. Which, I understand, it's a team play element. You're supposed to come on and try and capture it with a team. But even then, it is very easily for an entire team to get wiped trying to capture whatever the point is there. And that's not even factoring in something like hardpoint, where you actually gotta stay on that point. It is by far one of the absolute worst placements for an objective I have seen in Call of Duty maps ever. And I've been playing since, I want to say, steadily I've been playing since Black Ops 1. I played Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, took a break for all the advanced movement shit, wasn't a fan of that, skipped Vanguard, wasn't a fan of that, played World War 2, played a lot of Cold War, and then took another break and just jumping back in. But out of all that, long story short, it is among the worst placements for an objective. Following that, when it comes to an objective-based game mode, it is one of the absolute worst when it comes to getting fucking spawn camped. It is insanely bad. Because for whatever reason, the only points that you can spawn at are these little enclosed ruins things that frickin' have, like, 2 or 3 exits out of them that open right up into a killing field. Or a line of sight that somebody can just perch up on and frickin' drill you. That right there is probably the absolute biggest flaw of Babylon. Is like the spawn camping. That is possible. Yes, there have been maps in the past where the spawn camping is very bad, but it has never been anything like that. Like, I've seen... Like, I've played a lot of Nuketown. I remember back in the day when the spawn camping on Nuketown, if you come up against a really good fucking team, you were absolutely just destroyed. And even that pales into comparison to how bad the spawn camping can be on Babylon. And for whatever reason, those 2 little ruins areas are the only primary spawn points that I've noticed. But moving on from Babylon. Vorkuta. I loved the prison break mission from Black Ops 1. So when I saw this map come into rotation, because I hadn't seen anything for Black Ops 6 prior to playing it, I'm like, holy crap, this map is going to be freaking cool. And then when I actually got onto it, it sucks. You have, first of all, the whole snowy aesthetic. I actually like that. I won't lie. I like the snowy aesthetic to the environment. I like the sort of, like, abandoned, ruined facility motif that they got going on. Also, apologies if there's any coughing, any sort of sniffling. My voice sounds scratchy. I'm coming off of a really, really bad cold. So I do apologize for any of that. But anyway, moving on. The map itself. So you have your standard sort of middle, left, and right lanes. The right lane, and this is coming from where the big open area is on your left side when you spawn. So I'm just going to call that south side. So south side spawn. Because that's the one I usually end up getting stuck spawning at when the match starts. Left side, you have a giant, like, open area with an elevated point that you think, oh, you're going to be able to see some stuff. It's like, but no, that elevated point is completely exposed. You can't get up there without getting shot from every direction. So you think, oh, I'll go around further on the left-hand side. You know, hug the edge of the map. It's like, there's no cover there. You have a little overturned train car, maybe a little hill or something like that, but it's no cover. Like, it is an absolute freaking snipers or long-range killing field. So you think, oh, I'll go up the middle. Well, the middle is an absolute clusterfuck of interconnecting alleys and popping out of areas and all this other stuff where it's really condensed, but at the same time, it's really exposed due to all those interconnecting ways that lead into middle. With, like, a really bad turn that heads towards left lane that is completely exposed from the way looking in that way. And then also you got a little thoroughfare way on the right-hand side that links from right lane to middle lane that they can just post up on the other side of and fucking drill you there too. And then right lane, it's a really condensed, like, little through train yard section, I guess is the way to call it. And it's just, like, very linear, very straightforward path, which isn't a bad thing. You know, it's got some good cover in spots, you know. Can't really get screwed, by somebody coming at you from the side, unless it's like one spot in the middle of the path. But other than that, it's a decent lane but nobody goes in. Like, it's mainly used, from what I notice, as a way to try and flank in order to get into middle or loop around to left. And because of that, you end up just getting drilled. Because people, like, they think, oh, they're on their way to whatever left or mid, they're going to take the shortcut there or do whatever, and you just get freaking nailed. And then, let's see, there's this, like, jungle-themed map that has, like, it's like a jungle-themed railway system. I'm forgetting the name off the top of my head. It is an absolute dumpster fire of a map. It is bad. Like, it is really bad. Way too many interconnecting points. Constantly getting, like, shot in the side or the back, because there's just so many ways people can get around through the map. So, you can't freaking run anywhere, or else you're just gonna get drilled. And it's bad. I like the aesthetic of the map. I do like the aesthetic. I hate the layout. So then moving on from there, you have Payback, which I believe that is the mansion one. It's the mansion from the story. It's a decent map. It's pretty solid. It's probably my favorite so far. It's got the 3 lanes, standard COD, but it's got some interconnecting ways that the lanes connect, so it's not like a killing field down each lane. There's good amounts of cover. Inside of the house is always chaotic. It's a good, solid map. But to sum up the map issues, it basically boils down to 80% of the maps are crap. 10% are okay. And the other 10% are actually really good. But the issue is the fact that for whatever reason, when it comes to how the lobbies determine what maps are going to be coming up, and the fact that you jump into a new lobby every time you end a match, you end up playing the same maps over and over. Like, another one of the maps is Red Card. It's like some sports stadium or something. I want to say, like, soccer / European football. I hate it. I hate the map with a passion. I've only played it like 2-3 times at most, and every single time I'm like, I really just want to back out of this map. However, whenever it pops up, I've seen it pop up once as a selectable map. Every other time I've played it, it's been either a match that's been in progress, or it's been the map that's been chosen for classified. Like, for whatever reason, the maps that are getting selected are the same maps over and over. And there's no variety, essentially, when it comes to what you're playing. Like, when it boils down to it, odds are you're gonna probably play one of 4 maps. You got Payback, Skyline, which is the skyscraper one. It's actually kind of cool. I like it. You got Scud, bad map. Not a fan of it. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just personally, I don't enjoy the map. And then you have what's the other one? Oh crap. I want to say it's the train one. It's the freaking jungle train one. That's the other one that pops up the most. It's like all the others, they're kind of non-existent. Anyway, moving on from maps, weapons. I'll be honest, the weapons are very bare bones. Like, I am honestly shocked by how little there actually are. Like, you've got 2 shotguns, which, that in and of itself is like, wow. I don't remember the last time I've only seen 2 shotguns in a COD game. You've got 3 sniper rifles, which you really can only use 1 effectively due to issues, and that one you don't get till level 49, or you buy a bundle and get it early with like all this stuff added onto it. That's a whole other issue that I'll get to. And then you have like 3 LMGs, all of which are kind of ass. Like, granted, I haven't unlocked the final one yet. I've only unlocked the first one, and then the second one, which is the XMG. They're not good. They are not good. LMGs, for whatever reason, have been sorely neglected in COD for the longest time. Like, they can't compete. And it sucks. Like, LMGs are fun to use, you know. They're great for team play. Provide a lot of covering fire, stuff like that. Like, suppress the enemy. So your teammates can move up. That sort of tactical gameplay if you got a really good squad, you know, in your party. But for whatever reason, it can't do that in this. When it boils down to it, the quote, I want to say meta, and I hate freaking using that term because I hate metas when it comes to games. I hate being forced to play a certain way in order to have any chance of succeeding, is assault rifles and SMGs. And of that, it really only boils down to probably 3 assault rifles that I've seen and 3 SMGs that stand any chance. For the assault rifles, you have the XM4, obviously, which is your standard M4. You have the AK-74, obviously, and then the AMES, like something 9. It's basically the Amex from, I want to say, like Cold War or whatever it is. They slightly changed the name, but it's the Amex. Those 3 assault rifles are stupidly dominant over any of the others. Like, I have been killed by those. Like, I've been killed by the AK-74 or the AMES, whatever the fuck it is, more times, just one of those, than I have by any other gun in the game. Any other gun. That is how, like, broken they seem compared to the others. For SMGs, it's the, what is it, the Tanto 21, whatever the hell it is. It's basically the Milano, I want to say, from Cold War. You got that one, which, for whatever reason, is a 3-shot kill. Most of the time, it's like whenever I get killed by it, you have the little thing pop up like, oh, they hit you 3 times. And I'm like, okay. But then, whenever I do it, it's like, oh, it takes 4, it takes 5, it takes 6. And it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. And I know it's not a networking thing, so something isn't really adding up there. And then you have the MP5, obviously. Obviously, the MP5 is going to be dominant. I don't know what it is about that gun. I think it's because it's probably the one that most of the pro players use. And God forbid Call of Duty does something that does anything that inconveniences them in any sort of way. Like, I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of that whole mindset when it comes to the game. It's like, cater to less than 1% of your player base, and completely ignore the other vast majority of your player base when it comes to deciding what should be what. That is their mindset, it seems. Despite from a business standpoint, it is that other 99 or more percentage that are the ones that are going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to spend money here, I'm going to spend money there in the store. They're the ones that are going to make the company money post-launch. So it's like, you'd think they'd want to cater to them. If they're saying, yes, make this gun, or, oh, nerf these guns, or, oh, balance these some more, or here's some suggestions, you think Call of Duty would be like, maybe we should do that, you know? But anyway, moving on, yeah, it's just, the guns are really inconsistent. And a big one for that inconsistency, I want to say, is actually shotguns. They are by far one of the most inconsistent guns ever, or gun types in this game. The pump action shotgun. It's like the Model 9P or Model P or something. It's your standard pump action shotgun. I can't tell you the number of times that I've been using it, and I've been barrel stuffing a dude, essentially. Like, he's less than 3 feet away, and I've either hip fired, or I've quickly ADS, and I'm right on the guy, and I get a hit marker to upper chest, like low head, upper chest, that sort of area. And then he'll just blast me with either his SMG, his assault rifle, or his own shotgun. Like, that is bad. Yes, sometimes it is aim, you know, it is obviously an aiming factor. Maybe I'm not completely on him at times, but when you're that close, that's bad. It's that inconsistent. It's like, and then other times, I'll be 10 feet away or more, I'll ADS on the shotgun, fire off a blast, and it'll one-shot him. And I know he won't be injured because there have been times where I've come around a corner and they'll happen to spawn in, like just barely spawn in, and I've blasted away at him from like 10, 15 feet away, and it's one-shot him. And like, it's so inconsistent how the shotguns are. Or it's like, there's times where sorry about that, I've been really close to them, I've been aiming at their head, like my ADS sight is on the head, I pull the trigger, and I get a hit marker. And it's like, that makes no sense. So I fire off another shot sometimes. Like, sometimes I'm able to get off another one. And like, same thing, it's like, okay, so I just hit this dude twice with a shotgun, with at least half of the pellets hitting his head, and he's not dead. It's not a networking thing. It's not my internet. It's not a connection-based thing. It's just whatever it is in the game code is just so inconsistent. So, I don't know. There's something wrong there, it feels like. And then, so moving on from weapons. Let's go on to perks and score streaks, because it's kind of a mixed bag. The perks kind of suck. It's like, and it kind of ties into score streaks as well. Score streaks, kill streaks, whatever you say about it, it is what it is. If you prefer, oh, you have to get X amount of kills, or you should have to get X amount of kills to get a streak, whatever. It's a moot point. The issue is the fact that for whatever reason, the score streaks suck. Like, there's nothing new. Like, correction. The only thing that I can 100% say is new is this, like, scout pulse thing. It's like a little personal radar that you get that pulses around you for a few seconds. I want to say, like, probably maybe 10, 15 seconds, 30 at most. And it shows you where enemies are. So it's like a little personal UAV. It's kind of cool. You know, I don't mind using it on occasion. And then the other one is, it's called the Archangel. It's basically a guided RPG. Like a TV guided RPG. Those are the only two that I can say that are basically new. Everything else is just imported over from other CODs, or more specifically Cold War. You have your standard UAV, counter UAV, napalm, care package, artillery barrage, or as it's in this, it's like some LDRB, whatever missile truck thing. It sucks. Like, it sucks. Then you got, like, your higher tier stuff, like, oh, you got the cluster missile, and, attack chopper, and chopper gunner, and harp, and all that stuff. That stuff was, like, standard. It's like, but there's nothing new. And that in and of itself wouldn't be bad if they hadn't really fucked with the perks. So, in every Call of Duty that I've played, that they've done Scorestreaks, they had it to where Hardline reduces the cost needed for every score streak, or kill streak, or whatever you want to call it. Which is cool, you know, it's honestly how it should be. But for whatever reason, the perk that they have in this one, it's called, like, Dispatcher or something like that. It does that. It reduces the amount of score you need, but it only does it for non-lethal, like, support-style score streaks. And that's like, then why? It's like, why are you specifically having it be these when the non-lethal support kill streaks are essentially the first several score streaks to begin with, like the low score required ones. Like the one that requires the most, I think, is the harp. Like, I don't think they even consider the interceptors, which is the the freaking thing that takes down aerial score streaks, as a non-lethal score streak. Although I could be wrong on that. I haven't fully checked it. But so I don't understand why they do that. And then there used to be like a specialist or a perk or something like that that you could have where when you die, your score doesn't reset, I think. That's gone. Instead, you have this thing called bankroll, where every time you respawn, you start with 150 points to begin with. And it's like, okay. I mean, it's cool. It's less points I gotta get to get a score streak, but much rather prefer the one where if I die, I, just keep having my score streak amount. You know? Although, granted, I could be misremembering on the whole, there being a thing where you keep your points, you know? I could be misremembering that, and if I am, then that's my bad. But it doesn't negate what I'm saying. It's like, so, to sum up score streaks and perks, they're kind of lackluster. Like, they kind of suck. Which is bad. Like, it's honestly really bad when it comes to crafting your loadout. Because you end up going with essentially one of three loadout types. You either go a full-on, balls-to-the-wall, guns ahoy sort of build. You go an assassin style, where you're just, like, stealthy and shit like that. Or you go, like, a tactical equipment and lethal equipment sort of one, and stuff like that. Which kind of sucks. Like, you can't really mix and match things. Especially when it doesn't make sense to mix and match, because you don't get the specialist the specialist bonus or whatever from having 3 of the same category of perk, be it recon, assault, or what's the other one? Engineer, I want to say, like support. You don't get like the bonus things for having 3 of those on the class. So like you're kind of limited that way. But anyway, that's Scorestreaks and perks and all that. So let's see, covered maps, covered Scorestreaks and perks, covered weapons, movement. I don't know what it is about the movement, but it both feels really good, but really bad. It's like the running feels good, jumping feels good, diving, sliding, all that, it's whatever. I do like the fact that they introduced that new mechanic of movement where you can like dive to the side if you're like strafing and stuff like that, and dive back. That's cool. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to pull off at times, I've noticed, like especially like you're in the middle of a gunfight. You really can't do that, it seems like, because of how fast you die. But it's whatever. The issue I have with the movement is like it's weird. Like it feels both really sluggish, but also at the same time like full on Jackrabbit hopped up on freaking cocaine at times when you watch other people move. And like it's jarring, I guess is the best way to put it. Alright, so that basically covers multiplayer. Sorry about that. Let's see. Campaign. Like I said, haven't finished the campaign. Played a bit of it, but so far, it's kind of meh. Like, it's really meh. Like, mid-level at best so far. I did end up watching a, like, cutscene compilation, stuff like that. Sort of like, for the whole campaign. Watched some videos where they were talking about it and everything. I did that last night. I don't know. It feels very mid. Which, for a Treyarch Call of Duty, like that's a bit of a big L. Treyarch has been absolutely phenomenal when it comes to stories. Black Ops 1 story campaign was phenomenal. One of the greatest, in my opinion. Black Ops 2, same thing. Really, really solid story. Haven't finished Cold War's campaign, but from what I've heard, it was decent. You know, it was solid. But this, I don't know what it is. It's lacking something. I do like the whole thing of like, oh, the safe house sort of like hub base style thing that you got. You got like little puzzles to solve there. You can upgrade the place and stuff, though it's to augment your playthrough of the campaign and everything via collecting like cash while you're doing missions. That's cool. I do think that is actually pretty inventive, and I might try and go fully on that, you know, see how it affects things. But when it comes to the actual story, it honestly feels like it's the first act of something. It's like the first act of a movie. It's like build up, build up, build up. Little bit of closure, you know, as the first act ends, the big event happens, and then you're left feeling, okay, what's next? And it's like, credits roll. It's like, oh, that's it? And then so after watching cutscene video, I had that thought in my mind, and I'm like, there's no way that's it. And then it clicked. They're saving the rest of it to do for the live service story. That is what frickin' I realized. It's like, they're continuing the story on via the live service stuff. You know, like the seasonal story shit. Which, it's not hidden at all that, like, they're trying to do that. And I don't know. Like, I don't like that mindset when it comes to the story. It's like, if you want to, the way I see it, you have the story, you do a start to a finish, and then if you have a live service or whatever it is, like a seasonal thing, then you use that to expand upon what happened in the story. Like, go further, not like end the story abruptly and then, oh yeah, we're just gonna explain everything and show more of it as the seasons progress. That's not the way to do it in my mind. But yeah, that's summary of the story. It's I want to say the story is probably like a 6 or a 7 at most out of 10 if I was to give it like a numbered rating, which is a bummer for a Treyarch COD. Zombies. Now, as I said at the beginning, I don't really play zombies. I've not really ever been a fan of it. I did play it back, I did play it somewhat, like not a shit ton, but I did play a good amount back in, I want to say, Black Ops 2? What's it? It was the one that introduced the map Burial. So the underground, like, western town. That was the one I played the most. But anyway, a bunch of my friends are, like, hardcore zombie guys. And they're like, this doesn't feel like zombies. Like, this doesn't feel like wave-based zombies. And from what I've been seeing, like, of the gameplay for it, I have to agree. Like, it's lacking something. It's like, it almost seems like, in my opinion, they tried to merge the DMZ zombie things that they did with, I want to say Modern Warfare 3? It was either Modern Warfare 2 remake or Modern Warfare 3 remake. And it's like, it just, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's working. But then again, like I said, I haven't touched on zombies. And yeah, like, it's not something I'm gonna delve into because I don't have the experience to give a fair judgment of the zombies due to my lack of interest in the zombies. So, like, I'm not gonna give it this big, long, drawn-out explanation of, like, oh, this is wrong, this is how you do it, and blah, 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 like some others might. So I'm just gonna say, like, from what I've heard, they're saying the zombies is like a 5, which is not good, in my mind. I mean, it's average or below average. But anyway, like, that looking forward, like, how I think they could improve the game. They got to go through and do some serious balancing of the guns, hands down. Like, there's no other way to say it. Like, they got to do some hardcore balancing of the guns. Movement, there's not really anything they can do with that, I don't think. Like, it kind of feels is what we got is what we're gonna get, sort of, when it comes to the movement. But the maps, I know when it comes to maps, it's something that's probably very difficult for them to fix, but they gotta do something. Like, they gotta do something other than introduce old maps that everyone loves. Like, they're bringing Nuketown back. They've already shown that off with a trailer. Not complaining. I love Nuketown. You know, it's one of those maps where you just shut your brain off and just play the game. I like that at times. You know, I don't like to have to constantly be looking 20 different directions in order not to get shot up the ass by some enemy. And it's just, Nuketown's a simple but fun map. That's why everyone loves it. Or why so many people love it. Other than that, like, they gotta... I'm not sure how they could fix a lot of the maps, but when it comes to Babylon, in particular, they gotta introduce either a more frequent spawn swap, or they gotta introduce new primary spawn points. Like, they can't keep it to the, those little ruined bunker thingies. It's not working. But yeah, that's basically all I think they can do at this point. Overall, my first impression, if I was to give the game a score, like I said, like, I'm almost level 45 or 46. I've been playing it for a good amount of time. Like, I'm not level 55 yet, obviously. I'm not prestige. But I feel like, despite that, I've played it enough to have the good mindset of the game, like where it is. If I was to give it a score, I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10 at the moment. It has the possibility of jumping up to a 7, maybe even an 8, if they implement a lot of fixes for various things that I've talked about. But yeah, at the moment, it's about a 6. I can't recommend paying money at the moment to play it, unless you are one of those hardcore COD people that play every COD, every year, that sort of thing. Like, if you have Game Pass, you know, if you have, like, PC or Xbox Game Pass, 100% play it, you know? Have some fun. Turn your brain off, hang out with some friends, and just mindlessly shoot enemies and stuff like that, you know? It's good for that. But going out there and paying $70 to $100 or more, I can't justify it with the game being the way it is. Yes, I know the game has just recently come out, and a lot of this is just them trying to find their footing, see what needs to be tweaked and all that stuff, but at the same time, I'm going to be honest with what I think about it. You know, I don't think that just because the game has just come out, we should overlook blatant issues with the game. Yet at the same time, I don't think that that's all we should focus on. It's like, oh, there's nothing good about the game. It's only these issues. Thus the game's horrible. There's good elements to the game. There's bad elements to the game. There's very ugly elements to the game. But there's also hope that as time passes, those ugly and bad elements can get buffed out and tweaked so that what we're left with as a final product is a good product. But anyway, that's gonna pretty much wrap up this video. It dragged on a little bit longer than I was intending to do it. And as you can see with the background video, it's like this is what you're looking at with the game. I mean, the couple of matches I had in this, or one or two of them, were like really good matches. I don't consider myself like a top tier player. I'm like average to maybe slightly below average, I feel like, when it comes to my skill at COD. I feel like I'm the general player base level. I'm not either way, I think. And this is what you usually deal with the game so far. But anyway, that's going to wrap this up. Be sure to leave a like if you like this and found it informative. Comment down below. I'd love to hear what all of you think. And subscribe to the channel for more gaming content. And until then, this is Jedi Guy Gaming signing off.